Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Now, before you buy yourself the 10th gen Ford F-150 from 1997 through 2004, you should know exactly what you are getting yourself into. Is the Ford F-150 as reliable as you think, or is it a junker? Well, today I'm going over what kind of issues you may run into while owning the Ford F-150. Let's get started. In the event of a head-on collision, the cab will most likely crush and quite possibly kill you. In regards to safety, this is not the best, but it's also not the worst. There are much worse cars out there. The 2-valve modular engines are insanely reliable and is arguably the equivalent to the Chevy's LS1. Basically, this is the LS1 for Ford. But the spark plugs tend to blow out the motor. There are two reasons this can happen. The heads have few too little threads to grip the spark plug, and the spark plug isn't torqued to the correct spec. To remove the popped spark plug, you may need an extractor tool, and if the threads are not usable anymore, you may need to rethread the hole or insert a helicoil, which are both tricky jobs. So be sure to replace your spark plugs religiously and look up proper videos on the procedure. If the truck is experiencing no heat in the cabin, the most likely is due to a faulty blender. The part is relatively cheap. However, you will need to take apart the entire dash to fix it. If you're patient, taking apart the dash should be relatively easy with a few videos, but getting a mechanic to do this can be and will be pretty pricey. If you are experiencing rough idle, then most likely the EGR sensor is sticking. Pretty easy and simple to replace. And similarly, if you're experiencing high or too low of an idle, then the ISC valve may be sticking as well. And you can clean the ISC valve to fix that issue. There may be constant noise from the rear end. If so, the diff gears may need to be replaced, especially if the noise is non-stop. If the noise just happens on acceleration and when you press on the brakes, then it's in no need for immediate replacement. Similar to any old truck or vehicle in general, rust can be a huge issue, especially in the northern colder climate. Be sure to check underneath the vehicle and make sure that the frame and the main components of the vehicle is still in decent shape. If you see large rusty holes, steer clear, my friend. Dash paint chipping is very common on these cheap American plastics, but you can repaint them pretty easily, and doing so may give you the opportunity to customize the truck the way you like. There may be oil on the starter, which usually indicates the right side of the head gasket is blown, so be sure to climb underneath the truck and check that out. Repairing the head gasket is not a novice job to do and would be very expensive from a mechanic. And the early year V6 models from 97 through 99 tend to have faulty head gaskets. In the early models, the intake manifold is made of cheap plastics where the coolant runs, and they are prone to busting and ultimately leaking. Buy yourself an aftermarket one to prevent this issue. But if you smell a sweet burning smell and the car is overheating, this is most likely your issue. The exhaust manifold sometimes cracks and causes a minor exhaust leak. If you opt to replace them, especially if they are rusted out, you are in for a pretty fun job. In other words, the job is not easy at all, especially if it's rusted out. In conclusion, the F-150 is actually a very reliable truck, and there are many of them lasting well over 300,000 miles. However, there will be minor issues that may come up and could be costly repairs if you have to take it to the mechanic. If you like to turn wrenches, then I think this is a fantastic truck to buy. This truck, to me, looks pretty sleek and the interior is a bit nice. Ford did move towards more of a comfortable interior for the 10th gen F-150. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. This is Chris at AutoMotivate. Always appreciate one another. I'll see you next time.